Okay, we are doing. I know we didn't do a stream starting soon, but because we're gonna do a short stream, my arm is like really tired, but we're gonna try and power through it. Um, so basically, today we played D&D, which is why we're not doing a full 3 hour stream because I didn't really get a chance to have a nap. So we're gonna go for as long as we can. So hopefully we can go an hour, maybe a little bit more. We'll see what happens. Depends on how I feel and how the body goes. Um, so today's D&D session, we did a couple streams where we were setting stuff up and creating the maps and all this and that, and today was the day where my players got to play through it, and things went pretty good. Just read off the thing here. I'm actually going to just quickly tweet this, doing a short slash quick stream for tonight to handle or to wrap up today's D&D session. We can go twitch.tv/wow challenges and boop, tweet, and it's gonna like and retweet, and we're live now, and we'll tweet that, and then we'll go on to the Face Blogs post, share, and then under the WoW challenges. Just want to make sure that at least every time I go live for the fundraising stream that we're actually doing it. So, I wasn't at the end of the session. It was funny. I felt okay, and I don't know. It wasn't until I started typing up all of this different stuff that I began to feel a little bit tired. So we are gonna go for as long as we can, right? So behind the scenes tweets. Yeah, hold on. I gotta turn on my Twitch chat because I only saw it because where's dashboard? There we go. That's what I want. Okay, now we get to see it. All right. So where was I? Yeah, I was feeling pretty good at the end of the session. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to be able to stream for the 3 hours and we'll see how it goes. Hey, LB. And I don't know. All of a sudden it was like I started typing up. So basically at the end of a session, like that night, I type up everything that happened. And hey, Boomy, I'm doing okay. A little tired now. When I finished typing everything up, I don't know, just my arm is just getting super sore and very sluggish. So I don't think I'm doing a full 3 hour. We're just going to go probably for an hour or so. So let's switch over to the other screen. So here's my session notes. These were the pre-notes just to show what the day, the month, and the year was when everybody moved around and all that. So everything basically began a 30-minute stream hype. I mean, if we go 30 minutes, it goes 30, but hopefully we can go an hour, maybe more. And maybe, actually, you know what? I'm going to go get an aspirin. I will be right back. I'm going to leave my mic on, so you should still be able to hear me. Here we go to go get some water. And maybe the aspirin will help as I do this. Where is the aspirin? This is how we do it live. Because I was going to take an aspirin earlier before the session started, and that just didn't work out. Where is my desktop? There we go. Okay. So this part here is my an ass what? Congrats on 905. Yeah, I know, it was crazy. I am so happy and so thankful for being at 905. I can't believe it. So our session is basically, so I set up the pre-session arrival. So I wanted the players to have different ways to have gotten to the prison. So they never really knew each other. They just kind of were thrown into the same cell kind of deal. Um, so on this, I have day, month, year, and we go into session one. I do color code it so that I can more easily pick up players and all that kind of stuff. So basically, they were all admitted in there, and they went through the whole process. They actually stripped off all their clothes and were given rags and a bowl and a bucket. That's all that they had, and they took it. I was like, I figured they would just fight like right there, but nope. They chose to not fight and just take what was supposed to come their way, and they were then escorted into the yard, the great big yard, and one of the guards claimed that he was hit by one of the NPCs, and they took the NPC and killed him just to show that, hey, if you touch a guard, you will die. And so that's why I had that one poor NPC. I just put him in there as this guy is going to die. So they basically chopped his head off and threw it down the well. And it was kind of funny because I wasn't going to create the cavern beneath the well because I'm like, well, I don't think they're going to go down there. But then last night or the night before, I was like, you know what? They might. And so I created the cavern beneath the well, and I put in a monster called a Chuul, Chuul, and just in case, because my party does like the weirdest stuff. Like they just, I can't plan for it. I try my best, and often they come up with things that I never even thought of. And so the very first thing that they said, as soon as they dumped the body down that well, even though that they heard something down there, like sucking and grabbing at the dead body, they were like, well, we know that there's a monster down there, but they thought it was a croc, like just like a crocodile. And they're like, well, if we just dive down there right now, I'm sure that we could take it. And I'm thinking that they're gonna die really quickly because they have no weapons. They have one bucket and bowl, and they're gonna go up against a challenge rating 5 beast. They're gonna be dead. So, or at least one will die while they all try to get out and through the little mini crevice that would let them out of the cavern into the world. But they chose eventually to not go that way. Basically, that night they discovered that, they could cast spells if they covered up the runes. So I had runes etched into the walls in each cell, also on the floors in the hallways. Like they were more or less all over the place. Basically, it was to prevent anybody from casting spells, unless you wore one of these necklaces that basically all the guards wore, so that the guards can do basically anything that they want, and if any of the prison folk have spells, it wouldn't work. So they figured out pretty quickly that if they covered up the rune, I had it written down there that the rune was line of sight, and I was thinking, I didn't think what would happen if the players covered it up. So they basically took a bucket and they put it over top of the rune, and I was like, you know what? I didn't think about that because I just assumed that's just there, and I didn't think that they try to cover it. I thought that they would try to break it, like maybe try and chisel it out of the wall or something. I don't know. And they didn't do that. They just covered the thing up, and I was like, well, I did say it was line of sight in my write-up, which I did put a link to the write-up in the Phalanx of Nod D&D discussion for the Korthalak prison. Actually, I don't know if I said it was line of sight, but I know that in my head it was, like the rune had to see the caster, and if it did, it had a 60-yard range, and because it was covered up, it couldn't see the caster, so therefore they could cast spells. So they figured out that they weren't really going to do anything that night. So they decided to sleep, and they were woken up by the warden because he had a horn of awakening. So basically, it just blasts like this really shrill sound and wakes the crap up of people, and they can't go back to sleep. And he does that just to piss people off because he can. So the party began to talk to a halfling across the hallway from them that was locked into another prison, and they promised that they would give him water in exchange for information. So the party was able to cover up the rune, cast create water on the halfling's bowl across the way, because it's a 30-foot range, and immediately the halfling cellmate basically killed the halfling, and demanded that the party give them more water, but was really loud about it and got the guards involved, and the guard came back with the warden, and basically declared that no one was allowed to have any water or food for that day because of because they weren't sure who it was. So the prisoners all were all mad because obviously okay, so these guys only get food and water once a day, and it's not a whole lot. So when they lose it out for a day, well, they're not happy. So later on, one of the party lured the guard to come over to the cell by basically saying, his mom was like a cow grazing in the field. The guard used a stun rod on the player. And one of the other players was going to cast a suggestion spell on him, on the guard, to say, give me your necklace and open up the door. But they discovered, while it requires I don't know what it was, like some piece of a material component, and normally I don't really care so much about that, especially when you're like when you're a normal adventurer, you should have these things on you. So, but because they were in prison and they had nothing, I was like, no, you can't cast that spell. So that kind of failed, and a little bit afterwards, they were allowed to be brought into the yard for their normal outside time, I guess. I don't know. And they were able to search through some of the brush and dirt and grass that was around, and they actually found a cricket. And they were looking for a cricket because that's a component in a sleeping spell. Or in a sleep spell, and so they were able to find a cricket. I actually made the DC like 15, because I figured, if there was a cricket around and someone found that, they're going to eat the damn thing. So there's not going to be a whole lot of them around, like not a ton, but there might be one, right? So they found one, and basically they tried to pick the guards' pockets and all that stuff, and then they turned around. There was a whole bunch of, I'm just going to try to pick his pocket and try to pick that guy's pocket. That didn't really work. And the guards came over and used their stun rod on them and basically paralyzed them. Eventually, they befriended the orc thugs, which is kind of funny because I wasn't planning on that. I was actually planning on using those orc thugs as a fight that they would get into in day 2. So this is the first full day that they were in the prison. I figured the next day we were going to get them all into the yard and have the orc thugs go and basically beat the crap out of them, because the orcs were all allowed to use or to have clubs, and the orc leader was allowed to have a mace, and that was only because the orc thugs kind of have this side deal going on with the warden, where like the orc thugs kind of run things, and in return they help to keep the prisoners in place, because there's about, I think when we counted, there was 26 of them in there. There's 7 orcs. I did name the orcs after the 7 dwarves. So I had Dokor. Who are the other ones here? Let me just see. It should be under locations, and then Korthalak. So I named them all after this 7 dwarves. All right, yeah. So I had Dokor, which is Doc. I had Snores, Laughs, Smash, Snarls, Snot, and Dolt. So basically, I had Snot and Dolt be the ones that were going to be in charge of the food, so that if they made it to the mealtime, which unfortunately they forced the warden to remove dinner for that day. I think what I was really looking forward to was having the orcs sneeze into their gruel. So that didn't quite happen, but they were able to befriend them, which is kind of funny because it was just a lucky roll. And it wasn't like a 20, but they had I don't know what it was, like a 18 or 19 on the persuasion check, and the opposing check was I think I put the DC at 15, but I also had the orc roll as like a opposing check, and they rolled like really low, like really badly. So basically they got them to help them out, and they were able to discover that some of the prisoners had shivs, and they were able to pickpocket a couple of them. They tried, so as some of them were trying to convince the orcs to go do certain things, the orcs are like, listen, we're not going to do anything that's gonna get us in crap. If you guys want to leave and try to survive out there, go, fine, but we're not gonna go because we have it really good here. Like, we are in charge here. We have food, we have women, we are safe. The prison is full of men and women, so they have their way with everything. And everyone knew that if you are able to actually get out, the wilds are just insane. Like, you are going to die. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen. But anyways, okay. So they they were able to pickpocket some shivs. So they decided to try this distraction first. So basically, what they wanted to do is that there was a brief heavy rainfall, because that's how it is in the rainforest. All of a sudden, it was just boom, rain, and then boom, it's gone. So basically, what they did was that when it began to rain, they pulled out the rain barrel and began to fill that up with water. The warden was not there, so he didn't see all this stuff, because otherwise he would have been like, no water for anybody. I guess he didn't tell the guards. But basically, what they were trying to do is that they were trying to have like a fake fight, and then push one of the players into a prisoner, who would also knock into a guard, who would knock into the rain barrel to knock that over, and make it look like the guard knocked everything over, and then all the prisoners would riot and kill the guard, right? It almost worked. They were like a point lower than the DC I had, and basically how it worked out was they nudged like everything worked out up until the barrel was tilting, and then it came back, and they're like, oh crap. But that was enough to get the other guards from the tower to come down and be like, we saw the whole thing, what the hell. In that time, one of the party members went into the tower, snuck in, grabbed a torch from inside the tower, and set fire to a table inside the tower, and began a huge fire. And so there was two guards on duty there. One was like, oh my god, there's a fire. The other one was like, I'm gonna go get the warden because this is nuts, right? So at that point, they were able to convince the other orc thugs to go cover up the magic runes throughout the yard, so that one of the party members could cast sleep on the last guard. And it worked out because there's no save for sleep. It's crazy. There's no save. It's basically hit points. And I'm reading the spell. I'm like, there is no save. And like, if we go look at it right here, like, these are all their characters actually. There's Amnon. Dorax is the one that casts a spell. We have home, and I think we're gonna make her last name don't play that. So homie, don't play that. So let's look at Dorax. His spell was sleep. So it's might be hard to see on the stream here. Why did it go away? Okay, let's go back to spells. Sleep. Here we go. Okay, so this should be a little bit easier to see. So the spell sends creatures into a magical slumber. Roll 5d8, and that's how many hit points of creatures it can affect. It's like starting, and so they were basically looking at just this one. And I was looking for a save, and I'm like, there's no save. Like, there's just no save. It's just, if the guard was elf, well, then they would not be allowed to be controlled or slept. So that's just, it's such a strong spell. It's a very, very strong spell. So they were able to put the guard to sleep, and they all made a break for the tower, because if you got up onto the wooden ledge of the tower, like, the tower itself was made out of stone, except it's got like this outside part that's just wood. So if you get up on top of that part, then to scale the rest of the wall, it's only 10 feet, because the whole wall is 20 feet. So it's like 10 and then another 10. So they were able to help each other all up to get up to 10 feet. And we've left them at, they're on top of the prison, looking in, and as they got up on top, they spot the warden and two of his guards come in to see what the hell's going on. So we talked about it out of character, and they said, they're not going to try to go into the prison to go use like the transportation rune. They're going to, they're going to get the hell out of Dodge, right? So basically now I think like I've written up everything that's happened. So we're about midday through the 20th. So in my world, there's 376 days, I think, in a year. Excuse me. And every month, so there's 12 months. Every month has 31 days. On the months that change over, like the first day of spring and summer and fall and winter, those months have 32 days. Overall, I think I like this calendar system more than the one that I had before. I had this weird one where there was only 10 months per year, and each week was 10 days, and each month was 40 days, but except for the month right before a season changed, and that month was only like 2 weeks, so like 20 days. I don't know. I was just like, you know what? This is overly complicated. Let's just bring it back in a bit, and let's go back to the old 12-month thing, and seven days a week. And I basically, I don't know here. I don't know if we can pull this up. Let's go to Don John calendar. I know it's kind of smaller right now, but I'll enlarge it. Okay, so it's the year 7247. I've named all the months in the year. You also get to put how many days there are. The weeks. I've named all the days to something similar to what it was in our world, right? So basically, sun was Solace, so like the sun, like the start, like our sun, and Lunas was Monday, and so on. So I made it so that, and sometimes when it wasn't quite right, I would just tweak it a bit. I made it so that all the days of the week ends with an I. The months, what I did was that I was looking for other words that were similar to winter, spring, summer, and fall. So this one might be the most obvious. This is the first day of fall, so it's autumnum. So I just so I wanted to put a little bit more detail into this. So the whole, basically the pre stuff happened from here to here, and our session happened, like they arrived at the end of the day on this day, and now it's the midday on the 20th. So not even a full day has gone by yet. I think the only other thing I really have to do is that they've had to leave their buckets and bowls behind. I'm actually just going to message them right now to say the assumption here also is that Moira had to leave her bowl behind because she couldn't take that with her to scale a wall. Okay, so that's my group. So basically, they all left their buckets and bowls back in the prison cells because they forgot to tell me to bring that they were going to bring them. The only person I said that I would give a grain of salt to is our new player because they don't really know. The other players, they've been playing with me for a bit now, so I'm getting a little bit more technical with them. And especially when they have nothing, I don't want them to make assumptions. So all that they really have with them, honestly, is a knife, which I couldn't find a shiv, and I tried to go create it as like a magic item, but I had to use it as a dagger or something, and a dagger is 1d4 damage, but I wanted the shiv to be a 1d2 because it's only supposed to be a small little thing, right? So basically, the next best thing I could find is small knife. It's just, unfortunately, because it's a small knife, it doesn't come up as like an action to be used, right? So Amnon was able. Okay, so when they made the guard fall asleep, actually, they took one of the guards' stun rods. They took a short sword, and they took the necklace that the guards would use to open up some of the doors that were locked by magic. So they have those 3 items plus the 2 shivs. So they have 5 items, which is still not a whole heck of a lot for a group that basically has no armor, and they're going out into a jungle that is infested by harpies. It's gonna be fun to see them deal with this. Honestly, I think all the work that we did before on some of our streams, we kind of set up. Like, I'm ready. Like, I could play another session like next week. Like, I think what I would do is that do I have it up here? No, I don't. Okay, so what I do before every session is we go adventures series 2, and then I create a doc just for that session, so that just kind of gives me a reminder and gives me like some notes. So basically our session for this week was how all the players were going to get to the prison, and what I actually did is that I had everybody leave except for the first 2 players, which were, it's funny, not even this guy here. It was actually these 2. It was Homie and Moira. And then we added Amnon, and then we added Muradram, and then we added Dorax. And then they were brought all up into the prison, and I've already gone over all that stuff. So, but for the next session, honestly, I mean, when you go locations, I've got a write-up on the whole island, right? And I'm pretty much good to go. It just really, it depends on what direction they think that they want to go. So they're up, like, they're not up super duper high, but there are jungles around ish. They can see that there's mountains around. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a map, like a really small map. Oh, what's he saying? Luke is, I think, watching our stream too. So, and that's okay. He's one of my players. So I think what I'm gonna do for our next session is to create a small map to say this is what you can see. Right? Do you want to go? And you can pick which way you want to go. And from there, honestly, I have everything I need. So I don't know if I actually need to do a whole lot of prep sessions. I think maybe 1 or 2, but it's not going to be a whole lot. I already have everything good to go. Like all that work that we did before, we're ready to go. So I think though, for the rest of this one, we're gonna look at XP. So they didn't get into any fights where like it was true combat, right? Because combat, because they were very much aware that if they were to hit a guard, they're gonna die, right? So they were very careful to be like, okay, well, we don't want to go fight the guards, but honestly, I'm very surprised with how things turned out. I thought that we would have another session where they're trying to figure things out, right? Like, when is the warden going on patrol? How many guards are here? Can they arrange to get a prison riot going? Can they pickpocket a rune off of one of the guards and be able to get into certain runes? And it was funny because they also made certain assumptions too. They assumed that the rune that the guards carried would only open up blue doors, and that was not true, because they actually, when they first went into the yard, it's a set of double doors that are actually glowing red, and the blue and the red have a different connection. Oh, thank you, Dave.
For 3 bits.
Kill them, kill all of them. Oh, for 3 bits. I don't know if the party is going to be very happy to know that they were killed off for 3 bits. But thank you, sir. Oh, that reminds me. Tonight we are going to donate all the bits that we got from this past week. We wanted to do XP. 30 bits?
The Hunter cheered for 30 bits.
I don't know, man. 30 bits is like 30 cents. Is the life of 5 characters worth 30 cents? Man. So in this case, like, I definitely want to give them XP because I thought they played well. Like, they were thoughtful. They actually role played some of the stuff. I thought things went well. That's at 100%. I just don't know. Hey, it's just character sheets. I was kind of hoping that they might have taken another session to actually break out, because I didn't want to just
Dave
wow.
The Hunter cheered for 300 bits.
Well, holy crap. Thank you, sir. I mean, that's going all to the donation fund, so thank you very, very much. Man, 300 bits? It's $3 for characters' lives? Man. So I was hoping that they would have done another, like, gotten through to another session in the prison so that they would spend a little bit more time breaking out and forming those initial bonds, right? So I still think, though, that they did pretty well. I do like how they came together. So in other words, no. Yeah, I'm not going to just kill them off. Come on, man. Although you are number 2 now in the top 3 of bits this week. I'm seeing in the chat room right now. So I do want to give them XP, because I feel like XP needs to be given for play, right? Not just necessarily for killing things, but defeating certain thingamajiggers. So, for want of a better word. So when I go look at my session notes, these are here. I think going through the intake, I would give them each 100 XP. I'm actually gonna write this down. 100 XP. Actions and ingenuity and milestone. See, okay, so that's the thing too, is that I don't want to. I didn't want to make the XP milestones, because I personally feel like it's good for campaigns that are on rails, right? Where if you do certain things, then you should be certain levels, right? For this, because my campaign is so open that they can do pretty much anything that they want, I feel like I need to look at what they did and assign them amount and basically assign them an amount of XP per thing. So when they were coming into the intake room, and they actually did role play a bit, but they did do everything that they were supposed to. So I'm gonna give them each 100 here. Oh man, it's also RP bonuses and crisis management. Yeah. Oh, is this pen like dead? Nope. There we go. Okay, so 100 XP. I think the stuff in the yard, they didn't really do much there. They just okay. And then they went into the cell, and they discovered that the runes etched into the wall could be allowed to could be covered up to cast spells. So that wait, how much XP do you need to get to level 4? It looks like. Oops, no. I want to manage experience. Dang it. Hold on, manage XP. There we go. 2,700. Okay. What's the hashtag? Is that 300 cheers, and he won't even kill the pen. I know, eh? Is this homemade? Yeah, okay. So where were we? We were at session notes. So figuring that out, I think I'm gonna do another 100. So it's like, I don't think that they're gonna get tons and tons of XP, but they're gonna get some, right? They were woken up. They tried to make a deal with the prisoner across the hallway with them, and they created water, and then abruptly discovered that you can't trust anybody because a halfling was killed, and the human female killed him was then also dragged out of the room and was also killed afterwards. But I don't think I put that in here. Getting louder. One guard leaves. Actually, I'm going to put in here the human female in the cell across from the party is dragged out of the cell block and is abruptly silenced. So she was killed. I actually have it in my notes that those two cellmates were both killed. So the human killed the halfling for the water, and then the guards killed the human outside. Technically, the party doesn't know that, but I think that they can infer that because I did say to them that they could hear the woman trying to like scream, like not scream, but like fight and yell and stuff, and then it just all of a sudden it went silent. So I'm gonna put that was actually a pretty good attempt at getting some info about how to escape, and maybe if other people be right back, don't leave without me. Okay, well, I think we're still good for another 20-30 minutes or so. Not sure how much longer though. I think 20 minutes maybe, just depends on how long this takes here, I guess. I think we'd probably do about 200 XP for that, because that was pretty good where they were able to, at least try to use their skills to do stuff. The warden coming back, blah, blah, blah. So the party tried to insult the guard's mother, who came over, used the rod on Dorax, and Amnon discovers at the time he cannot he cannot cast the spell because he doesn't have this material component. Honestly, I think with that, because I think I'm only going to do 100 on that, because they did try something, but overall it was a bit of a hodgepodge going on there, and then they realized, oh, it's not going to work. And that was actually the part that I realized, hey, you guys don't have components. Does that spell require a material component? Yes, it does. Do you have, I don't know what it was, but it's like, yeah, he's not going to have that. We actually let him cast a spell, a light cantrip before, because I didn't even, that was before that I had even realized, hey, that, that probably should not have been a thing. And he was the one that actually brought that up to say, yeah, that requires a bit of phosphorescent moss. It's like, okay, well, so what we usually do is that if we find if we find something that we screw up on rules wise, we change it from that point on. We don't go back and say, well, if you now that we know that you can't cast a light spell, well, that didn't work, so we have to backtrack, we have to rewind. No, we just go. It's silly to go back. It takes so much time, and then you need to make the players remember, well, all the stuff that happened didn't happen. Just go. It's more fun just to go. We found the problem, and we fixed it, and now we're good to go. So they were told they can go into the yard. I thought it was pretty good that Homei was able to find the cricket. I didn't really think that they were going to do that, so I'm going to give, though, 50 XP for that. Moira, and then it was funny. So then they try to pickpocket the guards, but they fail. So I don't know if I really want to give XP for that. And Moira tries to pickpocket, but also failed. And then when they confronted the party, one of the orc thugs vouches for them, but that was more because of the rolls. I don't really want to give XP for that. But they did befriend the orc thugs, which is a big deal. That was such a huge thing that let them be able to get to that point where they can get out. So I think that by itself, I would be giving like 300 XP for it, and this is like per player. Okay, so this is a big thing. They pickpocket some shivs. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to give any XP for that, because it's one person that did that. I tend to try not to award XP per person, whereas I try to award XP per person in the group. Right, so have it split so that we're all pretty much at the same amount. The party. Okay, so then they tried to do the fight, where we're gonna have a fight, and so they tried to shove the person into the crowd, to knock over a prisoner, to knock over the guard, to knock over the rain barrel, like a domino effect. It almost worked. I think it missed the DC by 1 or 2 points. I think it was 1 point. And so it's like, that was the point where the barrel tips over, but not enough. Normally, I don't think I would give XP for that. However, because of that, the tower guard came down off the tower and basically freed up the tower to do their thing. So I'm gonna give 50 50 XP because it failed, but it was still something. They did set the torch, and they did set fire to the table inside, which created the distraction. So I'm going to give another 50 for that. This is a lot of XP that they're getting, but again, they're not combating. They're using their brains and trying to figure things out. So they did put one of the guards to sleep, and I know I have the XP values of the guards. Where are they? Guard count. Okay, each guard is 150, so you get the amount of XP if you defeat the person. So even if you don't kill them, like for instance, if you were to defeat a giant red dragon, well, then you get all that XP. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's dead. It just means that you won. So in this case, they're going to get 150 for putting the guard to sleep. And I think that's going to be it, because besides that, they were able just to run up the platform and then help each other up. I think maybe I'll give 50 XP for that, because why not? I'm fairly liberal with it. So when we add this all up, we have 100 plus 100 plus 200 plus 100 plus 50 plus 300 plus 50 plus 50 plus 150 plus 50. That's 1,150 points. So they're not quite halfway to level 4. The rule of thumb overall is to have it where you play a number of sessions equal to the next level that you're gonna hit. So for instance, these players are all level 3, so they should in theory be playing 3 sessions before they hit level 4. So the 1150 is a little bit higher. 1150 divided by 2700, it's 42%, so it's a little bit higher than a third, which is going to be okay. It will be fine. It's not too much over. Maybe the next session will. It depends on what they do. Actually, I think the next session is going to be a little bit more combat focused, because they'll be out in the wilds, and anything and everything out there is going to try to kill them. So they can have fun with that. We are going to manage experience. So there, what did I say? 1150. Oh, can I? How do I? Is this the right way to do it? New XP total. Wait, why is he at 900? Oh, I see what that is. Okay, so we gave a lot. We gave too much, I think. We gave too much. So if you take 2700 minus 900, they only need 1800 to get to, or to go from level 3 to 4. So they are already at 900. So I was assuming that when you're at level 3, you're back at 0, but you're not. So they would be at 2050, which is about halfway. It's a little bit over half. Let's do it. It's fine. Because then the session after we can work on getting their characters up to level 4, and it's a pretty big deal at level 4, because you get special things, right? You can take a feat, or you can improve your scores, I believe, right? So we did Home. Let's do Amnon. Manage experience. Add 1150. Apply. Right. Okay, there we go. Let's do Dorax. And we're going to add 1150. I can't use my numpad because otherwise it's going to change my scenes. while we do it. Manage experience. Okay, so Moira also is a character that she forgot to do her. She forgot to do her. We'll come back to that in a second. Let me finish this. Let's do Miradram as the last character. 1150. Okay. Okay, back to Miradram. Okay, so they all have their XP. We didn't choose her monastic tradition, and I'm not familiar with monks. Okay, so she's got 3 different things: Way of Shadow, Way of the 4 elements, and Way of the Open Hand. Oh yeah, and it was pretty cool. I was thinking that I was looking at her character, and I was asking them all to tell me what their summaries are. So I'm gonna open up my little thing here, and we're gonna switch to the mode so you can see what I'm talking about. So I have a little cheat sheet here for when I play. I don't know, it might be hard to see. So I have the character, have their passive perception, I have their armor class, their hit points, and their init. If we go into combat, I can write it down there, and I'll know who goes when. It was funny. Moira's a monk, and she was like, her armor class is 16. I'm like, 16? Like, you don't have any armor on. And then when I go checked out her character, yeah, because she's got armor class 10, but Dex is +3, so that's that. And she also has a thing called, where is it? Not patience defense. Where is it? I think it's gonna be under features and traits. Oh yeah, okay, here it is. Unarmored defense while not wearing armor and not using a shield. Your armor class equals 10 plus your dex plus your wisdom, and your wisdom, hers is +3 as well. So she's got a super high AC. And it was funny, actually. She got hit by the rod and failed her con check and was stunned once. But yeah, she's got a super high AC. They did get hurt, so they went a day without. So basically, what I did was that at the end of every day, they're going to make a con check, and if they fail, they're going to lose a hit point. We had one person do a critical fail, so he lost 2 hit points. By resting, so not getting involved in any fights, nothing at all, like nothing, like do nothing, like all that you do is grab your bowl, eat, and do nothing at all, you'd be able to get your hit point back. But we didn't really get to that point, so that's kind of where we're at right now. They're up at the top of the prison and overlooking everything, and this is over. This is done. There's some stuff I did where we didn't get to use, so we created the cavern beneath the well, which, I'm a little sad over, but honestly, I think if they were to have gone down there straight off the bat, and they're going to try to punch this thing to death, one of them's going to die for sure. So it was good to get it done. I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get to do another session in that thing, because I did spend a lot of time on creating the prison, but we also did spend a lot of time on, again, the whole place. So we're pretty much good to go. We're ready to go. I think if we do another D&D session where we create stuff, I think we might create the city of on Dead. So I'm gonna show the Where is it? No. Where is the... Oh, it's probably under images. Okay. We want to do the modified map? PSD. Yeah, I want the PSD. Oh. I don't know why it keeps trying to open up the PSDs with snag it, and I have no idea why. I want to use Photoshop. So we're going to show this really quick here. I'm going to load this bad boy up. So this is our gaming world when it decides to load. Oh, it's in text mode. Oh no, it's going to load all my fonts and take forever. Okay, there we go. Let me zoom in. So basically, no, actually, let's do one step out. Can we do one step out, or... There we go. Okay. So basically, you have one of the players was from parts unknown, kind of. Like, I think he was from... I believe Valorn. I think he was from Valorn. And he came down here to seek adventure, and then he took a boat over to Iron Gate, and because he's a tiefling, everyone's racist against them because they're not common, and because they have infernal blood, everyone fears them a bit too. So he basically got into, or somebody, sorry, the captain of the guard picked a fight with him, and he got thrown into the prison. Two of the characters came from here. One was trying to break into a vault and got caught, and the other one happened to be around at the wrong place at the wrong time, and they assumed that they were in, like, they assumed that they had a partnership, so they both got sent to this place, and then over to the prison. We had a dwarf character that's from over here, Bolthor Kalak, over in the Savage Hills, deliver something for the king of Ondanian. Oh, it's Onion. Oops, I thought it was an A. Oh well. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to change it in some places. And that dwarf got mixed up with a thieves guild that hired her. Welcome back, Dave. That basically hired her to protect some people that were going to be doing a open rebellion against the king, and the king basically quashed that and killed everyone, pretty much everyone, except for the dwarf, because the king knew that the dwarf has ties with this dwarf in town here, and the king relies too much on the trade between the two. So they decided, we're not going to kill the dwarf, we're going to go exile the dwarf over to the island, even though they don't know that it's an island. I mean, they will now if they... I mean, they should know now, actually. I think we let that slip a couple times. The last player is an elf from the elven kingdom of Siathalor. His father was killed, he was framed, and the half brother did the deed and was able to exile the elf, the half elf to the prison as well. So those two characters wouldn't really know that they're on an island, because that's not how they got there. They got there through the transportation circle. What I was trying to get at here is that, so the old game world, for this same group of people, just different characters, we were over here. How do I remember all this stuff? Because it's something I do. Also, hello, Kevin. I see you in the WoW group too, buddy, or group 1. But they were over here first, And I think if we do another session, we're gonna develop the city here. I think I want to flesh this one out a little bit more, just to see what it's about. Like these two have a thing where they're trying to fight, but they don't like. It's not like hope and war. So it's not like hope and warfare. It's more like a trade war kind of deal. So they try to make it where people can't go and trade with them, and vice versa. They try and sign deals with other towns around and all that crap. There's sometimes where it does get to open warfare, but I think we'll leave that for another day. But I would really like to create a city in the jungle, right? So that would be pretty cool. So yeah, I think honestly, I think that's it. We did about an hour. I'm getting, actually, it's not too bad right now. But I don't think we're gonna do any more D&D stuff. Yeah, because I know that Luke might be lurking in our chat. I don't know if he's really here or not. He might be here, just not watching, or sorry, not logged in, right? So, but this is definitely something I want to do. Maybe on one of my other sessions is create a city. Because it's not. I mean, you can go use stuff like this where is it? You can go create a town, right? Are you in bed with me again? Thanks, buddy. Glad I could be in your ear. So you can do this. So we say it's a large one. It's coastal. Did it have a river? I don't remember. Not really. River was kind of close by, but not enough. So this website will create something that you can use like really quickly. I don't necessarily really. Oh wait, we want to get rid of river. It's going to be walled for sure. Actually, we want to zoom in here. Grassland, no. So here's the thing too. Forest, it's not really forest, it's jungle, but that's the closest thing that we can get. Any race, normal. What's normalize? I don't even know what that means. Normalize. Okay. So these are roads going out from it, man. You know, and honestly, here I don't even know what little towns are around, but here where we played for about a year and a half. This is the main town. This is where the players were in, and they were beginning to start branching out, and they died, which is unfortunate. But we're not at this level. I would like to get to this level over here, so we can build up more of my world. Because I like to build worlds. That's what I do. This is the whole world. The whole world is at my mouse tip. It's basically one big landmass with a massive ocean. This actually, there was a number of islands here. If we zoom in, you'll be able to see where I've edited the hexes, so you can see how it's a little bit off. Where is my, there it is. Okay. So you can see where it's a little bit off, like here and here. That's me removing the islands, and then having to redraw. He will put you to sleep. Yeah, for sure. I mean, some people like D&D, buddy. So I don't know. I love this game. I wish I could play it more, but it takes a lot of work to put in to make sure that everybody is having fun with it. I think everybody had fun with the session that we had today. I didn't really see any frowns, well, other than, oh crap, we can't do that. Oh man. Or, oh, he just chopped off his head. Ooh. I mean, that's the only frowns I really saw. Yeah, I removed some islands down here. But I think I think that's pretty much it. We gave out the XP that we needed to. I have my session notes. I don't need that open. I think that's pretty much it. Like with this thing, I don't like how the city looks. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure if if I go to Metropolis. Default culture. Yeah, okay. I mean, what? Oh, it's like triple walled. Oh, well, that's interesting. Like, I would like this if I could remove the names. I mean, I don't have this control, and honestly, Kevin, I don't have the option to remove walls. So, like, I can't click on that and say remove it. It's just a picture. So, I basically have to redraw it. So click new. 3 walls again. Wow, and this looks terrible. This looks terrible. So I really don't like this. What we usually do. Wow, this one has 4 walls. That's insane. So Rothenburg, old Tauber in Germany is triple walled. Yeah, I mean a very large city should have more than one wall, right? So, but is Trump at the middle? Sure. So again, I don't like I think I don't know. I really don't like this city generator. If we did no walls, let's just see what would happen. Is it doing it? Yeah. No, that looks silly. I mean, yeah. And I think they're basing the generator off of the name. So, not as a matter of fact, but growth over time, very interesting. Yeah, when you look at shows like Game of Thrones, right? Like that the King's Rest had many walls, right? So, wow, did it just boot me again? Oh no, it didn't. Okay, I was like, God, you freaking Twitch! I swear to God. Although it does look like my bitrate was going all over the place. Freaking Twitch. But anyway, so this will be for another session. I think what I might do though is instead take this as like an example, I think, and then we'll go into campaign cartographer and make a map like that. But other than that, I don't want to show the island because I think Mr. Luke might be watching the stream. So I don't want to give up the island how it looks. But overall, I think we're pretty much done. The session went well. No one died, and they were able to actually get away. So it was a good session. So I think our next one is like at the end of April or something. So it'll be a little bit. So I have a lot of time to kind of figure out what I want to do, put together some random tables. Random encounter tables. I'll probably try and do it when Luke's at work. because then I can know for sure that he's not watching because I don't think he can watch stuff at work. So, anyways, I think that's going to be it. Though I'm getting a little tired. I might log in and play a little bit of WoW just to do an island or two. But where is this one? This is what I'm looking for. Right. So no, I'm also looking for this one. So yeah, I want to. So thanks, folks, for coming along. I know it wasn't like a 3-hour thing, but we got an hour and 20 or so, which is better than nothing. Because I was feeling really bad if I did not do a session a day. So we got this one in. You lost my green tonight. Aw, Dave, I'm sorry. Oh man. But thank you to Dave for 3 bits, Dave for 30 bits, and Dave for 300 bits. Thank you very, very much. Oh, we can't go yet. Hold on. That reminds me. Today's the day where we go check how many bits we get to donate to the ALS fund. Come on, you know you can. You think you can. Okay, we're gonna go by day. Yes. Go by day. Last day was March the 3rd, so we go March 4th. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I'm going to add this all up here. On March 4th, we got 958 bits. Good Lord. On the 5th, we got 611. On the 6th, we got 239. On the 7th, we got 406. On the 8th, we got 80. And the 9th, we got 515. Holy moly. And on the 10th today, we got 333. For a grand total of 3,142 bits. Holy cow. So I am going to go put that in right now. I'm not going to do it on the screen that is streaming. And we're going to do donate now. Thank you guys so much. All right. Twitch bits from March 10th, 2019. We are putting in $31.42. The Visa, I guess. Okay. Let me put that in. I am not a robot. And complete the donation. Thank you to everyone for your bits. Twitch. Awesome Twitch bitties. Okay, message has been posted, and we're gonna go ALS Canada just to make sure, see what we're at. Oh, it didn't refresh yet, but it should be plus 31.52. So we're gonna go here and so 905 plus 31. What was it? 31.42 or 52? 42. All right, equals $936.42. That is awesome. Come on. Think you can? Ay, stupid thing here. 9:42. Okay. So our next stream will be tomorrow. I believe it's going to be at night at 10 p.m. because my mom's coming over because it's March break and she wants to see the kids. And we're not doing a stream where my mom's here because if you guys do the cheering of the stuff and the things and she hears some of that stuff, she's probably going to pass out and die. So yeah. So yeah, our next one will be tomorrow at 10 and we'll be doing a full 3 hours. And then I think we're back to normal on the Tuesday. So the Tuesday will be back at 9 o'clock, I believe. So hope you all take care. Have a great night or day, depending on where you are. And thank you very, very, very much for all of your bits. $31.42 in bits for the whole week. Thank you. It's crazy. We're so close to the $1,000, and then we have that wonderful Croc earmuff goal of $2,000. So we'll see if we can get there. I don't know. We'll see. So I'll flash you my gang signs and now also say peace, and hope you all have a great night. Be good to each other, and I don't know, play safe. See you later.